TOUIA's group goes to explore a cave together. The monster's armor was so hard that a sword couldn't pierce it. So TOUIA is about to try something. He used the gate to lift the monsters and let them fall freely. The team used teleportation to see how they were doing. Falling from a height of 10,000 m, the monsters are still okay. It could be said that they possessed an indestructible body, but the fall had weakened their armor. Then they destroy them by attacking the core of the monster. After completing the quest, the party returns to the mansion through the portal. It is known that this is the mission that helps TOUIA's team become one of the top adventurers in the world. But TOUIA just found out that I seem to have left France. Although she said she didn't mind it, she could tell it by looking at her face. France is very angry. She says she will forgive TOUIA if he gives him a sexy lingerie set. Of course, TOUIA disagreed, and it was just her joke. Today TOUIA came here to cooperate to find the Matrix. In the immediate future, if there is information about the transposed Matrix, the next step will be taken into account, and if it is certain to find it, TOUIA will coordinate to find it. Right after that, I called to find TOUIA, so I used the gate to go to my place. The purpose of calling TOUIA here was to inquire about his current life. TOUIA said that thanks to him, TOUIA's current life is very fulfilling. Even though I still don't know what to do in this world, I still need money to do what I want. At the same time, the four girls were bathing after completing the quest. They are feeling very happy looking at the engagement ring that TOUIA gave us. That ring is also given acceleration magic by TOUIA, which is very useful for hunting. Then TOUIA helps YAE find a place to forge a new sword. Because in the previous battle, YAE's sword was broken. On the way back, YAE shyly wanted to feel like holding her lover's hand while walking on the street. TOUIA also shyly agreed, and then the two held hands. The next day, TOUIA and Yamina go to the king to announce their engagement. After hearing this news, the king was very happy, wants the two to quickly get married and give birth to a grandson for him. The empress said that if she didn't officially announce TOUIA as Yamina's fiancé, there would be a lot of trouble. After returning, TOUIA pondered how to create useful achievements for the country. Immediately, TOUIA went to the store to inquire about the business situation and learned that the number of customers had decreased significantly compared to before. TOUIA thought of creating something that could attract and retain tourists. After thinking for a while, TOUIA took out his phone and looked at it and created a hot spring resort. TOUIA suggests that first let a friend know and try a hot spring bath. After a while, Lin ran to tell TOUIA that she had found the relics of Babylon, so TOUIA and his wives went to the desert of the dry country. Moments later on the flight, the group discovers a squid monster in the desert. Looks like it's hunting a certain group of people. At the moment of danger, TOUIA's group came to the rescue and took them into hiding. TOUIA will use the gate to bring YAE above the squid monster's head and then slash it with full force. But its armor is too hard to penetrate easily. The monster began to attack, unleashing a powerful laser attack. Just then ENDE appeared from behind. ENDE said that because he sensed the sign of the squid monster, he came here. ENDE teleports to the squid monster and uses a powerful kick that causes it to instantly disintegrate. Andy said that he attacked them with magic of the same frequency and then destroyed it. Just now ENDE mentioned the world barrier, and as far as he knew, it was like a wall that prevented foreign objects from entering this world. But it seems that it has started to appear holes, so squid monsters appear here. After saying that, ENDE quickly left. This girl is Rebecca, an adventurer, and these girls are all slaves. Each of them wore a slave collar around their necks, and when it was on them, they couldn't resist even being treated like objects. Only the person wearing it can take it off. But now that person is dead. After hearing the story, TOUIA said he could take them off. TOUIA immediately tried to help one of the girls remove the slave collar. After the success, TOUIA continued to help the girls get rid of all bondage. Although being liberated from slavery does not mean being free from the contract. So the best way is still to take them to another country. Right now, Yumina mentioned the country where Toya is living. Yumina introduced herself as the daughter of the king of that country. So that she can represent the king and the country is ready to accept all. Toya uses the portal to bring them back to their home. This was the first time the wives met E&D, so they asked Toya. He said that while going to buy engagement rings for everyone, he accidentally met E&D buying things, but the boss did not sell because he used a strange coin to pay. Toya paid E&D and even helped him register as an adventurer. This is a coin made more than 5,000 years ago, so E&D is very suspicious as it carried the coin 5,000 years ago and even defeated the squid monster with one shot. In fact, Toya learned about the squid monster from the professor who created the island in the air. According to the professor's prophecy, one day in the future, monsters suddenly appeared to attack the professor's residence. Then the monsters suddenly disappeared from the world. That is why ancient civilizations perished and then reappeared. Most likely just as E&D said, they passed through the broken barrier to come here. Moments later, Toya's group arrived at the place where the ruins of Babylon were buried. Toya tried to open it, but when he touched it, he was sucked in. Here all magic is disabled, only telepathy is unrestricted. Toya stepped on the teleport platform and activated the formation to go to the ruins. This girl introduced herself as the manager here. Although Toya has been recognized as a compatible person, it still has to pass the management test. The test was that Toya had to stand still and wait to see what color the manager's underwear was. First, Toya will use wind magic to blow away the manager's skirt. But the plan fails because the dress can resist magic. Next, Toya uses fire magic to burn the dress, but the result is the same as it can resist even fire magic. Toya had to resort to the last resort. Toya used her eyes to feel, and the answer was that the manager was not wearing underwear. Results: Toya answered correctly. So the manager will do a ceremony to transfer the owner of the monument to him. Currently, the only people who can use this workshop are the manager and Toya. Toya takes out guns and materials to restore. It will give an intact product. And yet, it can also customize the desired shape with just one operation. Then Toya let everyone in. Toya thinks of merging garden and factory. After returning, the three adventurers previously saved by Toya knelt down to apologize for being rude to the princess's fiancé. In front of the three of them who would wait until the former slave girls had a stable job until then, they begged Toya don't abandon those girls. Tuya returns to his cafe and asks about the refugee business. This is how he came up with a way to take in a large number of refugees. The boy in Rebecca's group lamented his magic. Tuya thought that magic wasn't useless at all. Tuya is choosing to hunt for the Adventurers Guild. The female receptionist intends to sell the Knights of the Roses book series. Hesitating for a moment, he decided to enter the book. After that, they quickly teleported to the mission location. With just one hit, he made the crab unable to move. The two quickly returned to return the quest to the Adventurers Association. After this mission, Tuya went to buy the Knights of the Roses manga. Suddenly, there was a girl who was disappointed that the book she was looking for was out of stock. It turned out that among the books Tuya ordered, there was one that this girl found was the last one, so this girl wanted Tuya to give it to her. Turns out this girl is the author of that series of books. Seeing Tuya's distrustful attitude made the girl feel uneasy. Tuya decided to ask more about her being a princess. The girl's paranoid attitude left Tuya speechless. In the end, he gave the book to her because he could use the workshop to copy the book. The girl showed excitement when they came to Tuya's book cafe because the books were very diverse. Tuya introduces Wool to the army commander in the hope that the boy will be trained to become even stronger. The next day, Lin brought a new work to Tuya to see. The story is about a man who plots to take over the country. As soon as he ran to the Empire to buy more books for the cafe, he was met with chaos. Unexpectedly, he saved the Empire's princess. Upon learning that Tuya is an adventurer, she begs him to save their king and prince. Tuya then goes to the kingdom to attack the traitor. He immediately used teleportation magic to save the king and the princess. Back in Belfast, when everyone heard the story of the champion with 2 special items, everyone was extremely worried. After the king of the empire was brought back, he remained in a coma, but there was no danger to his life. To prepare for this war, Tuya went to the workshop to make a very interesting item. The emperor of the empire finally woke up. He feels that it is his fault that this happens and is extremely worried about how to defeat the champion. The prince of the empire is still missing somewhere, so Tuya uses the locator on his phone to find the prince. The prince of the empire was the one Tuya had saved earlier. After arranging the plan, Tuya began to move into the enemy army. The shogun sent demons to fight against Tuya. But with Tuya's strength, this monster was too weak. After recapturing the country, Tuya also helped the emperor of the empire to declare an apology to the people for everyone's peace of mind. Since Tuya saved the empire, the king wanted to reward Tuya handsomely. However, he still refused. The king also wanted to marry his daughter to Tuya. The girls are excited to welcome a new member. After the 2 kings sat down to discuss, they decided they would each give Tuya a piece of land so that he could establish a small country of his own. He decided to name it Principality of Brand. Everyone sat together to discuss the idea of how to build the castle of the Principality of Brand. At this point, Hai appears. She said that building a castle is very easy. If you use the workshop, it only takes 3 days. But this problem is not simple because building a castle also costs a lot of materials. This problem can be solved because in the north of the empire there is an abandoned castle. They can make use of the materials there. And so after exactly 3 days, a real castle was completed. I feel like my castle is missing something. Tuya added a portal to it so that not only he but everyone he allows can use it to go where they want. At this time Tuya received a letter from the king. It turns out that kings come for diplomacy. But how does Tuya treat these kings? So Tuya brought things from the real world here. Suddenly, the first visitor to his castle was not a king at all, but Tsubaki. Tsubaki wants Tuya to let the rest of his clan serve the principality. And so the Principality of Brand had its first 67 citizens. With everyone's help, the Kingdom of Luxury was gradually formed. The day to welcome the kings has also come. Everyone has fun. Tuya was careless, but he didn't forget to pay attention to Lu. He even prepared an engagement ring for her. The principality had gradually stabilized, and they continued to search for Babylon. This time he hopes he will find a library or a treasure. The Babylon he found this time was an alchemy court, guarded by cyborgs. This place can combine magic with materials to create potions, even regenerate limbs. There are many potions the professor made in the warehouse. Today Tuya wants to test new magic. However, it takes quite a bit of magic. Els also wanted to fly, but her magic system wouldn't allow it. But Tuya can help her levitate. The rookie group also gathered a lot. At first glance, they appear to be all races of Yukai. At this time Tuya received a call. The Cupid was curious, so he read Tuya's mind. She advises Tuya to go to another kingdom of his wives. He already had that in mind. After going to Ye's parents' house, next he will go to the house of the Els sisters. It seemed like it would take a long time, so he went inside to rest. There he meets Endi again. Tuya asks about the monster last time. Endi says that they are not living beings in this world. There was a king who ruled over them and came to this world to find that king. Not knowing which organism resides in, they attack humans. Only when the human heart stopped beating could they hear the faint sound coming from the core. This search is instinctive, but they are not aware that they are harming someone. Although Tuya wants to know more about this mysterious man, Endi just says that he is a tourist and leaves. Tuya comes to ask Hai about the most powerful weapon the professor has created. But to produce that animal requires a very large and complex raw material. Only now did Tuya see the benefit of finding Babylon. In order to search for something in the sky, a flying assistant is definitely needed. Tuya asked the divine beasts if any of them could fly. They immediately suggested that he summon the inflammatory emperor. It is also a divine beast that controls fire and most importantly can fly. That's why Tuya summoned the emperor to find Balilang.